Peace. Okay, this video is about money, and one of the things we can do in the truth movement is to get the word out to people that money is not how they've been taught, and that's it. We're misled over how money is created, how it works. You know, they lie by omission, which is basically it works this way over here, but they let us think it works this way over here. Now, this little known article in The Guardian is a good place to point people to. I'll put the link down below, because it basically tells you what the Bank of England have come out and said about money. And the point of the matter is that if people knew just how money did work, then they would not be doing what they're doing now. So a good way to wake somebody up is to point them towards this article or even this video, and just let them know that the way that they think money works is not correct. Once you realize just how money works, it becomes impossible to continue working, in my opinion. It proves just how slave-like we are, and the monumental scam that has been pulled over the human race. It's a cruel trick. It really is cruel. It basically means that they've got all the money and we have to keep working all our lives. And if people knew this, they would start to ask for a different way. Excuse me. I'm not restarting the video. They would start to ask for a different way, and basically there are options. Because what it boils down to, it's the creation and distribution of wealth. Okay. The way that we talk about money is that there's a finite amount of money, and we all have a little piece of that overall wealth, which is not the case. Basically, money is always being banked. It's called banked, like a river bank, or spent, or whatever but it goes out of the economy. So it has to have a continual stream coming into the economy, and it's this stream of money coming into the economy which depends just how large or small the economy is. So you need to know who and how the money is created. Now, most people would believe that our government creates the money and regulates how much money comes into the system, which would be great, even if we did trust the government, which we don't. But that's not the case. The creation and distribution of wealth is controlled by private banks. Private banks, and they rule the whole world by this. And by this secret, basically. The Bank of International Settlements, the World Bank, the central banks, the International Monetary Fund, all these are what people would call, you know, the New World Order. And they run basically the whole planet, because they control the distribution and creation of wealth. They control it. Okay? And that's why you have countries in debt. Simple as that. You don't even have to overcomplicate it. But you know, have a read this article. I'll put the link down below. Back in the 1930s, Henry Ford is supposed to have remarked that it was a good thing that most Americans did not know how banking really works, because if they did, there'd be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Last week, something remarkable happened. The Bank of England let the cat out of the bag in a paper called Money Creation in the Modern Economy. Co-authored by 3 economists from the bank's Monetary Analyst Directorate, they stated outright that most common assumptions of how banking works are simply wrong, and that the kind of populist, heterodox positions, most, whatever that means, more ordinarily associated with groups such as Occupy Wall Street, are correct. In doing so, they have effectively thrown the entire theoretical basis for austerity out of the window. Right, so have a read of that. Okay, I mean, it proves the whole thing. Austerity is just a massive lie. The using austerity to make us poor, so that they can control us. Yeah, it's ideological. Money is created. This is the crux of it. Money is created by these private banks, and it's created when people go to a bank and they borrow money. Okay, this is where the creation of money comes from. People think that when you borrow money, the bank goes into its own store of cash and lends you its own store of cash. This is not true. What happens is when you sign the loan agreement, it might be say it's for £1,000. Okay, that signature on that piece of paper. I mean, I'm oversimplifying this, but this is in essence what happens. That signature on a piece of paper, piece of paper then becomes worth £1,000. Yeah, so they sell it, and then they put £1,000 in your bank account. Okay, it's a bit more complicated than that, but that is in essence what happens. And so they're creating money basically out of fresh air. Okay. Now, and they've got the monopoly on that. Yeah. And so the money's created, it goes into your bank account, which would be okay, except the fact that you've got to pay it back, and you've got to pay back interest. Okay, which means that there's never in circulation, there's never enough money to pay back all the debt, and so the banks, they just continually, the money just flows upwards in like a pyramid to the banks. And this is why usury is unlawful. This is why it's been banned. It's been banned in the Bible. All the major religions speak out against it. Usury wrecks economies. It wrecks people. It wrecks countries. It wrecks everything. That's why it's not allowed. And there's only certain types of people who like usury, and it's those types of people who are they're the ones. You'll have to do your due diligence on that. But that's the truth about money. And we, as people, are working all our lives just to scratch and save. When if that money wasn't given out as a debt, if it was given out as a credit, which is easily done, it's been done before in economies. And if you look into it, money as credit, any country that does that will thrive. It will thrive as long as it's got enough resources, which the world has now, and and productivity. So money as credit is the way. We've got money as debt, and it's also run by the central banks. They've got the creation. They've got the monopoly on the creation and distribution of wealth, and that's why the whole world is enslaved by them. And this is why they need to go to Syria now, because there isn't a central bank in Syria. There isn't a central bank in Syria, and there isn't a central bank in Iran. But in every other country, bar a couple more, which you'll have to do your research on, every country has got a central bank, and they control the creation and distribution of wealth. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is that it's that one simple fact that can wake somebody up. You'll tell them what I've just told you, and they won't believe you. But then if you can somehow get them to go check it out for themselves, it's in the Guardian newspaper, right? It's in the Guardian newspaper. And then they'll twig. And then, people, the thing is about all these banks, we'd think that they're okay and they're normal. They're not. They're like parasites on a country, sucking the lifeblood out of it. The only reason why we accept them is because they were there before we were born. Okay, we were born. It's like if you were born in a prison, you wouldn't think it was a prison until you got outside. Yeah, if something's there when you're born, you think it's normal. Things like taxes, passports, banks. These things are not normal. These are a blight on humanity, and we need to realise this. If as a country we came together and we got rid of all the IMF and all them guys, and we created our own currency as an English currency, and we created our own, and we spent it back into the economy, just spending it on infrastructure or whatever, giving it to the people, almost overnight we'd be rich and wealthy and prosperous. Okay, the whole world would be prosperous except for these parasites taking it out. So that's the truth about money. Again, please don't believe what I'm saying. Go check it out. Just just go check it out, and hopefully we can wake up a few more people. Okay, please like my video. The more thumbs up I get, the more people will see. I'm not getting very good views at the moment. I can't understand why. Well, I can, but I'll keep them coming anyway, guys. Get yourselves healthy to be wealthy. Peace be with you.